Hey you, don't give up. Don't give up on yourself. Why would you do that? Why would you give up on the only person that you have? Welcome back. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Martina. I'm an artist and creative, and I host this little show of my own. Today, I, to be honest, didn't know what to talk about. I feel like I'm saying this every episode, but I apologize. But that's the reality, unfortunately, sometimes, with us artists or creatives, right? And I wanted to start again with something that has been on my mind and that I have been experiencing this past week. And that's why I would like to start with why we should not give up. Why we shouldn't just put everything down when things start to feel a little bit difficult. And this past week I have been looking a lot on the content I create. I'm sure that any experienced content creator would tell me not to do it, probably. The same way you should not read all the comments, especially the nasty ones, and take them close to your heart. But yeah, it is difficult sometimes, right? To not give up, to keep pushing, to keep going even when it feels like nobody cares or nobody pays you attention. But are you doing it for other people or are you doing it for you? Because of course you can give up for others, but would you give up for yourself? Would you give up on yourself? Why would you do that? I mean, everything is a process, right? Everything takes time. So you also have to be patient and trust and have hope. I mean, if you want to look at it from a different perspective, maybe try to think of hope and faith, right? What if this obstacle that you are now going through is only a test of your faith in yourself? What if it's just the universe or God testing you and your will to pursue whatever you truly want? What if that obstacle is there for a reason? What if that challenge is on your way so that you can truly test yourself and see how much you are willing to pursue whatever you want to achieve? And I'm not saying that you should sacrifice everything you have to reach your goal. Not at all. Please don't think that that's what I'm trying to say. I think you also have to recognize when to give up. I think it's also very important to understand sometimes that, okay, maybe it is time to change direction because this is not leading anywhere. But if you have just started, like the same way I started this podcast, right? It was, 3 months ago that I've started, that I released the first episode. And of course it's not perfect. But yeah, the people watching this podcast just went down, right? Like the views went down. But I wouldn't give up because of that. And it's not to say that I believe my podcast is gonna succeed one day. But I also believe in the power of perseverance. You know? I mean, if you're an artist, try to take an example from professional athletes. And I truly love to take inspiration from them. And I don't know if that's because I grew up like that. So the lifestyle is very close to me. And I understand it, or it's maybe more clear, because I feel like in sport there is more of a blueprint for success than in art. But there is a lot of things that we can learn from professional athletes, right? I mean, just imagine that your art should be on the Olympics, right? Like the professional athlete, or an exhibition. Okay, let's do another example. Imagine that the exhibition or the event or the album you want to release or the song or anything that is your goal is like the Olympics for a professional athlete, is kind of the metaphor for Olympics in this case. Do you think that a professional athlete trains for a few months and then if he or she or they don't see a result, they give up? Because they are like, okay, I've done this for a few months, I did my best, and then they just give up because they're not at the Olympics if they started a few months ago. And I'm sorry, this is maybe a bit of a tough love from me, but we also have to be sometimes kind of our own trainers or coaches, right? Keeping ourselves accountable. And even if you just think of the athletes, most of them train from like 3 years old or 4 years old to then succeed when they're 20 or 18. I mean, that's a lot of time if you think about it. And I don't know how long you've done your art, but don't be so harsh on yourself. Don't just give up until you truly know that you did your best and you put your absolute most effort into what you are doing. And of course, if you're exhausted right now or you feel like you're burning out, take a break. I mean, take a break. You need to rest. You need to recharge. If you just keep going forever, over and over, then if you just keep going forever on and on, of course, you will collapse at some point. I mean, we're not machines. We cannot work 24/7. So also give yourself a break and be nice to yourself and kind to yourself. The same way the athletes rest and go to spa and give themselves good meals that are nurturing and nutritious, you also need to rest, right? So also allow yourself to rest, to properly rest and recharge so that you can continue and keep doing what you are doing and the goal that you're pursuing. But also don't lose hope if things suddenly slow down or you don't get maybe as many offers as you did, or it feels like people are not noticing whatever you're doing. Because that's your biggest advantage, no? If you keep going. Because once people come back again to your profile, to your art, to your music, whatever you're doing, then they will see, wow, this person really wants this. This person is really pursuing what they want and going for it. So don't just give up because things became harder or challenging. And also maybe if you feel like you're lost, then there is no problem with taking a moment to pause and reorganize and reassess where you're going and what you're doing. Because there is no pressure for you to go at the same speed as everyone else. Because you are not like everyone else, right? So go at your own pace that fits you, that fits your growth and allows you to grow and bloom. because we are the only person that puts pressure on ourselves. So why would you put a pressure that doesn't fit you, that doesn't suit you in any way? Why would you do that? There is no point, right? So learn and grow and learn how to be your own coach, but also your own wellness trainer and a spa person and nutritionist and inspiration. Because isn't it so beautiful when you can inspire yourself and have fun with yourself because you just have joy from life? I mean, that's just amazing. No, if you just think about it, it's, I'm sorry I'm going off track, but isn't it so wonderful that we are alive? Because if you think about it, how many years do we have on this planet? This life is just given to us. And it's just up to us what we do with it, right? And of course you can hit yourself in the head and complain why you are not where you want to be. Or you can just be grateful and enjoy what you have and what you're capable of doing. I mean, it's just so beautiful. So don't forget to be your own friend and supporter, but also your own coach that keeps you accountable, because it is truly just up to you what you do with your life. And if you give up or if you keep going. And there is nothing wrong with choosing one or the other. If you feel like now is the time to give up, or now is the time to change my career or my path, do it. Do it. Because you will never know what's going to happen if you stay in the same spot that you are at. So also don't be scared to do that. But also, don't just give up if you feel like maybe there is still something. So don't give up. Don't give up on yourself. Just don't. And thank you so much for listening to today's episode. I hope that it has been at least a little bit inspiring or motivating. Let me know in the comments or write me a message if you have any considerations. I'm really grateful for any support. So like, comment, subscribe. It's extremely helpful for me. I also have a Buy Me a Coffee page in case you would like to donate, but don't feel pressured at all. And you can also follow me on social media. Now we have an Instagram page. We also have a TikTok. Oh my god. So you can find me on all the platforms and you can see some short reels of wisdom, artistic wisdom. So I hope that you enjoyed this episode, and I'm looking forward to see you in the next one. Bye.